Distribution lines across the country have been disrupted as the Korean railway workers' strike enters its fourth day. North Korea says it will still be able to effectively manage its economic policies even without the aid of the ousted politician Jang Song-taek. And a young group of Brazilian K-pop fans are joining the Korean side with plans to cheer on the Korean team at the FIFA World Cup. Hello and welcome to News Today on KBS World. It's Thursday, December 12th. I'm Luke Clary. The Railway Workers Union strike has entered its fourth day, disrupting distribution lines. Meanwhile, the government says it will not tolerate strikes that cause inconveniences to the public.
Cargo trains operated at less than 40% capacity on Wednesday. That's a 10 percentage point drop from Monday when the labor union of Korea Railroad Corporation launched a strike. Some of the employees have stopped demonstrating. However, only less than 1% of the train engineers have returned to work. The government again urged the KORAIL union to stop its disruptive activities. It vowed to eradicate all wrong practices at any price, saying KORAIL is a representative state-run corporation housing rampant management and budgetary problems.
공기업들이 방만 경영에 빠지게 된 주요한 이유의 하나가 파업을 보호막으로 삼아 자신들의 잘못된 관행을 고치지 않았기 때문입니다.
The government confirmed that it would not privatize the Suh high-speed railway and that the KORAIL union cannot gain public sympathy for its selfish actions. The union seemed to pay no attention to the government's appeal. It responded by asking the court to suspend the decision by the railway's board of directors to establish a corporation for the Suh high-speed railway.
단돈 50억만 들여서 먼저 법인 세우고 면허권 줘서 기정사실화하겠다고 하는 겁니다. 알박기입니다. 민영화를 하기 위한 수순의 알박기를 하고 있는 겁니다.
The government is taking emergency measures to prepare for a prolonged strike. As an emergency measure, it will allocate train engineers to deliver construction materials as scheduled.
Public corporations are struggling under a mountain of debt, their combined liabilities exceeding those of the government. The Deputy Prime Minister has announced the government's commitment to sort this out.
The Korea Land and Housing Corporation has to pay nearly $11.7 million per day in interests. Its operational profit is not even close to covering the interest. The situation is the same for the Korea Electric Power Corporation, the Korea Oil Corporation, and the Korea Water Resources Corporation. The government will now place 12 heavily indebted corporations, including the four just mentioned, under special watch. Meanwhile, 41 corporations with a debt ratio of 220% will be urged to lower the figure down to 200% over the next 4 years. Debt-incurring national projects, such as low-income housing and development of overseas resources, will be halted or downsized. Accused of lax management practices, 20 corporations, including the Korea Racing Authority and the Korea District Heating Corporation, will be placed under strict overview. Information relating to inherited jobs, redundant education, medical expenses, and 5 other items cited for excessive expenditure will be disclosed in detail. The government plans to conduct midterm reviews on these agencies, and for underperforming corporations, it will freeze their wages and dismiss the agency heads. Nevertheless, corporations will be exempt from being responsible for any strikes that took place during the management improvement process.
공공기관이 정상화될 때까지 개혁 노력을 지속하겠습니다. 이번에는 다르다고 확실하게 약속드립니다.
But some critics have pointed out that the debts have grown too big for these corporations to handle by themselves, which would eventually lead to the use of tax money or a hike in public utility fees to pay off the debts.
The ousted North Korean politician Jang Song-taek was known for his efforts to boost the North's economy. The regime says it will be able to implement economic policies even without Jang.
Jang Song-taek had been at the forefront of North Korea's economic development. After Kim Jong-un rose to power, Jang was in charge of major economic and business development projects. That's why observers say that his ousting could undermine the development of the North's special economic zones, which are in desperate need of foreign investment. However, a North Korean official interviewed by KBS in China recently said that the development of the regime's economic zones would not be hampered by Chang's expulsion in any way.
그런 업적이 있는 사람이 없어졌다고 해서 우리 조선경제를 나중에 선거들이가 문제될 것은 없습니다.
He added that the regime's economic policies would be promoted in a consistent manner. As a matter of fact, North Korea signed an agreement yesterday with the Chinese city of Tumen for the development of a tourist zone in Onsong County in Hamgyong Province, proving that it's still receiving foreign investment even without Chang. Sources say that before Chang's ousting went public, the North asked its overseas business partners to not be concerned about the situation.
The U.S. National Transportation Safety Board has held its first hearing on July's crash landing of Asiana Airlines Flight 214 in San Francisco.
Asiana Airlines Flight 214 was landing in San Francisco Airport, but it suddenly crashed into a seawall and turned 360 degrees before coming to a halt. The jet crash left 3 people dead and more than 180 others wounded. The U.S. National Transportation Safety Board held its first investigative hearing on the disaster in Washington on Wednesday. The hearing focused on whether the plane's autothrottle had a problem. In the hearing, investigators grilled Boeing over possible mechanical problems and a malfunctioning of the autothrottle.
And lastly, at least for today, as we apply automation as a tool to aid the pilot, not replace the pilot.
The captain of Asiana Airlines Flight 214 told investigators he had thought that the speed of the plane was too slow right before the crash and that he had tried to fix the problem by himself. He testified that there could have been a problem with the autothrottle. He added that he was quite nervous while trying to land the plane. Asiana dismissed any possibility that the crash landing was due to human error.
For those select candidates for the training that was selected by the system, we provide quality training for those people to be a highly experienced instructor.
The NTSB plans to adopt a final report on the crash of the Asiana flight in July next year. However, it seems that disputes over the exact cause of the accident will not be resolved so easily.
Following the successful launch of the Naro space rocket earlier this year, the government has announced even more ambitious plans, a completely Korean-developed rocket by the year 2020.
The Naro rocket's launch last January was a success. This is a Korean company that developed a satellite antenna used to track the Naro's trajectory. Although the company has been a mainstay in Korea's aerospace projects such as during the Arirang and Cheolleon satellite programs, it doesn't even hold an overseas market share of 0.1%. This developer of a combustor, a core component of a rocket engine, has the same problem. The company was able to participate in the government's aerospace development program last year, 10 years after it first supplied parts to a liquid-fueled science rocket in 2002.
5년마다 좀 바뀌는 어떤 그런 것들이 기업에서는 가장 큰 불확실성으로 좀 보고 있습니다. 그래서 불확실성을 제거하는 것이 가장 큰 부분이라고 볼 수 있겠습니다.
Korea's civilian space industry accounts for a mere 0.45% of the global market. In order for Korea to make its mark as an aerospace giant, there needs to be full support for the civilian space tech developers. One minister has stepped up to address the issue.
정부가 이제 시장 만들 수 있게 도와주는 게 큰 역할인 것 같습니다. 인력을 인재를 만들어내는 그런 부분은 정부가 해야 될 일.
The government plans to boost the participation rate of civilian companies in such space development programs up to 81% by 2017 by actively transferring technology.
More than 10 centimeters of snow has blanketed the central regions of Korea. The mountainous interior is now host to more than a handful of snowed-in communities.
The fields are covered in a thick blanket of snow. The mountains are also covered with snow. Snowflowers bloom on the branches of bare winter trees. The mountaintops have transformed into a white winter wonderland. Pine trees look greener against the backdrop of the white snow. Mountain villages are serene and silent. A man works hard to make a path in the snow. Snowplows are busy all day long. A bus follows a snowplow. The heavy snowfall causes traffic. Railway workers are also on alert due to the snow. They work hard to remove the snow to ensure that the trains operate safely. There's no trace left on the snowy road. However, the snow cannot prevent the mailmen from doing their jobs.
A young group of Brazilian K-pop fans are joining the Korean side with plans to cheer on the Korean Red Devils at the upcoming FIFA World Cup.
Some 30 Brazilian girls practice cheering for Korea. They're members of an online K-pop fan club. They even sing Korean songs.
행복합니다. 내 소중한 사람.
An online site named Kpop Station was set up 3 years ago, comprised of Korean music and drama lovers. Its members already number more than 30,000. Now they are getting ready to support the Korean football team by launching a Red Devil cheering squad.
Porque a família inteira gosta da Coreia, da cultura, a gente come bastante comida e faz as coisas todas juntas sobre a Coreia.
Joining these K-pop fans are taekwondo enthusiasts from Brazil.
한국 문화, 한국 스포츠, 한국 음식 모든 걸 좋아하는 사람들이다 보니까는 오히려 제가 생각했던 것보다 훨씬 더 호응이 좋았습니다.
The Brazilian Red Devils plan to practice their cheering routine regularly until the opening game of the World Cup. The most anticipated game for them will be Korea's match with Belgium.
In today's entertainment news, Wonder Girls member Suh has plans to leave her management agency behind, while actor Song Kang-ho wins an Actor of the Year award.
Suh, a member of girl group Wonder Girls, has decided to leave her agency because she wants to direct her career towards acting. Her contract with the agency expires on December 21st, and it has accepted Suh's decision. Suh debuted as a singer in 2007 as a member of Wonder Girls. Recently, she has been cast for a leading role in a show on KBS. The other two members of Wonder Girls, Sunye and Yeon, are to continue their activities. A public poll shows that 22.5% of the respondents picked actor Song Kang-ho as Best Actor of the Year. In 2013, Song appeared in the movies Snowpiercer and The Face Reader. He also plays a lead in the movie The Attorney, which is to open soon. The second and third spots went to actors Ha Jung-woo and Lee Byung-hun, respectively. The poll was conducted on some 1,700 people nationwide, aged 13 and older. Singer Psy has topped 6 categories of the U.S. Billboard magazine's year-end charts for 2013, including World Digital Song Artist. Sources say Psy could release a new song by the end of this year. His previous songs, Gangnam Style and Gentleman, took the world by storm.
Static electricity is a normal part of everyday life and just a minor annoyance. But the cracking, popping snap of static shocks is jolting. We find out why it happens and how to prevent it.
The cold and dry winter invites an unwelcome guest, static electricity. You're startled by the popping sound when you're taking off a sweater, combing your hair, or touching the doorknob. Why does this happen so much more frequently in winter?
평상시에도 우리 몸에 있는 전기는 이런 수전기를 통해서 방출이 되게 되는데 겨울철에는 습도가 낮기 때문에 그 전기가 우리 몸에 더 많이 모아질 때까지 방출이 안 되다가 아주 높은 전압일 때 방출이 되기 때문에 우리가 그 정전기를 느끼게 되는 것입니다.
Are there ways to prevent it? This housewife who has sensitive skin prepares against static electricity beforehand.
실내 환경 유지가 가장 중요한 것 같아요. 겨울철에는 건조하고 그렇기 때문에 정전기가 많이 발생하거든요. 그래서 습도를 좀 많이 조절 잘 해야 될 것 같아요.
Try this. Keep room temperature at no more than 22 degrees Celsius. Raise the humidity to over 45%. How can we better manage static electricity when it comes to our thick winter clothes?
신문지연하면 정전기를 예방할 수 있어요.
Insert newspaper sheets between the layers of your clothes to reduce friction. Punch a hole through the newspaper and hang it up to divide your coats. You can clamp metal pincers on the corners of the blanket to reduce electric sparks. Using fabric conditioners on your laundry can also help. The negative ion in your clothes and the positive ion in your conditioner combined can be quite effective in preventing static shocks. For electronic appliances, all you need is a 10-won coin. Just place the coin on the computer or TV, and the copper component in the coin will prevent static electricity. Coins will also work fine in your work office. Meanwhile, keep your hands moist with lotion and go barefoot in your home to help release electricity. Apply all these tips to prevent the electric nuisance.
환경도 쾌적해지고 정전기로 스트레스도 받지 않으니까 정말 좋아요.
Now we move on to what's possibly the most vulnerable to static electricity, our hair. What's the tip here?
선생님, 좀 건조해서 그런지 머리에 정리가 너무 많이 일어나서요. 제가 잘 해결해 드릴게요.
Static electricity arises when you comb your hair. Use a brush made with wood or plastic. This will help.
보통 브러쉬를 선택하실 때에는 빗살 끝이 둥글고 부드러운 재질의 나무 소재나 고무 소재의 브러쉬를 선택하시는 게 좋으세요. 그래야지 두피의 자극을 최소화할 수 있고요. 그리고 이런 빗으로 빗질을 하게 되면은 두피 혈액순환이 좋아져서 머리도 잘 자라게 되고 신진대사율도 굉장히 높아집니다.
When you wash your hair, go with warm water rather than hot. This will help prevent drying out your scalp. Also, use hair conditioner and treatment products to keep your hair healthy and hydrated. The dry winter is here, but with some simple know-how, you can prevent static electricity and enjoy a pleasant winter season.
Now we'll take a look at the markets, followed by the world weather. And that's it for this edition of News Today. We'll see you at the same time tomorrow. Have a great day.